जीवन को बेहतर बनाए। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाए, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाए। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाए, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाए। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। मनोदर्पण के काउंसलर से परामर्श पाने के लिए डायल करें टोल फ्री नंबर 844-844-0632। नंबर एक बार फिर सुने 844-844-0632।
Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm Jyotsna Vahal Tandon with you, and you are watching us live on our official YouTube channel, that is NCERT Official, along with PM eVidya channel number 6 to 12 and NCERT PM eVidya class number 6 to 12. As you all know that all our Sahyog sessions are brought to you by MANODARPAN, an initiative by the Ministry of Education to provide psychological support to parents, teachers and students nationwide. So if you have any kind of queries, you can just contact us. But before that, I would like to tell you that in our today's live session of Sahyog, our topic will be the power of positive self-talk. And to explain this topic in detail, we have two eminent guests with us. So let's welcome Dr. Jeena K. You are Associate Professor from RIE Bhubaneswar. Ma'am, we welcome you to the show.
Namaskar ma'am, thank you so much.
And along with her, we have Vimala Roby ji, and you are practicing counselor in North Goa. Ma'am, I also welcome you.
Namaskar and thank you so much. Pleasure.
So before beginning our live session, let me just tell you, if you have any kind of queries, you can just call us on 844-844-0632, and our another number is 8800440559. You can just email us your queries also, and we are flashing our email ID sahyog.ncert@ciet.nic.in, and if you are watching us through the through our YouTube live streaming, you can just drop in your messages in our live chat box as well. So Dr. Jeena, I'm beginning the discussion with you. So we have all heard the term self-talk. Could you please elaborate what exactly self-talk is?
Okay, thank you ma'am. Thank you for your question. And I'm really excited to talk to you about this topic and the power of positive self-talk. So we all know that we are living in a world filled with the challenges, deadlines, expectations and occasional setbacks. So there is a possibility that negative thoughts take over. So this is why we are discussing today's topic, that is the power of positive self-talk. So at its core, positive self-talk is the act of intentionally speaking to yourself in a kind, affirming and motivating manner. It is about, we can say, replacing the negative thoughts with empowering and constructive statement. So the way you think about yourself and your ability shapes your reality. We all know that. In other words, we can say, if you believe in your capabilities and speak positively to yourself, you are more likely to take action and succeed. And why this positive self-talk? Why we are also conducted this relevant discussion? Because this positive self-talk is important for boosting our confidence. So you start to believe in yourself more. You are able to face challenges with confidence, and you learn from mistakes and keep moving forward. And also it improves the mental health. The negative self-talk can lead to anxiety, stress and depression. So positive self-talk fosters healthier mindset, helping to reduce our worry, self-doubt, etc. And also we know that our life is full of ups and downs. So having a positive internal dialogue is very necessary to help you bounce back from the setbacks, reminding you that failure is not end, it is only a learning opportunity. And also it increases the motivation. When you talk to yourself in an encouraging way, you are more likely to stay motivated, and also you are very goal oriented, and it helps you to stay focused on your goals even though when the all the things around you are going in a wrong direction, not in a planned way. And it is an essential tool for students and adolescents as it directly impacts their academic performance, emotional well-being, and overall development. By replacing self-doubt and negativity with affirmations of strength and ability, students can also foster a mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities for growth. So for adolescents, for they are because for adolescent age there is they can't regulate their emotions. They are under stress because physiologically and mentally, emotionally they are very vulnerable. So there are significant developmental changes. The positive self-talk plays an even more critical role in shaping their self-esteem and mental health. So as they face peer pressure, then pressures of peer comparison, academic expectation, identity formation, a healthy inner dialogue can provide the emotional support they need to overcome obstacles. So I want to tell all my audiences that your mind is a very powerful thing. When you fill it with a positive thought, your life will start to change. With this concluding note, thank you so much. Thank you for this question. Thank you.
So that was Dr. Jeena, and she has just elaborated that what do we what do we know about the term self-talk. And now I would like to move further to Miss Vimala Roby ji. But before that, I would like to tell you that MANODARPAN's national counseling tele number, which is toll free. I just want to repeat that once again. That is 844-844-0632, and our number is 8800440559. So you can just call on any of the numbers. If you have any kind of queries, you can just email your queries on sahyog.ncert@ciet.nic.in. And if you're watching us through our official YouTube channel of live streaming, you can just drop in your queries in our live chat box as well. So now I'm coming to Ms. Vimala ji. So how does one's self-talk affect individuals, and how one can identify one self-talk's pattern?
So I think Dr. Jeena has explained what positive self-talk is and how impactful it can be very well, especially on for adolescents who are dealing with all kinds of challenges. Now, many of the younger ones who are here may be familiar with a theory called the law of attraction. Then you must have heard of manifestation, because both these are trending topics on many social media platforms. But I want to specify that that is not what this is. This is not about some magic mantra that works miracles and attracts positivity to you. It's instead something that works within you to equip you to deal with situations in a better manner. Now, this is actually more based on the principles of what we call cognitive behavioral therapy, and that is based on a premise that human emotions and behavior are predominantly generated by ideas, beliefs, attitudes, and thinking, and never by the events themselves. So consequently, it's changing one's thinking that leads to an emotional and behavioral change. Now, like Dr. Jeena said, affirmations are a great way to start reframing our negative thoughts, and at the same time, it's also a great way to reaffirm our positive thoughts. Now, a very relatable example to most of us, including the adults who may be watching it, would be a famous dialogue, an iconic dialogue from the film Three Idiots, where the dialogue where Amir Khan or the character says all is well. Now, it was not a magic phrase even in the movie, but instead a sentence that the characters use to calm their minds when they are in a moment of crisis and their minds are approaching a state of panic. So being in a state of panic or anxiety is like getting stuck in a traffic jam with noisy vehicles all around. One can't move too much and it is stressful. It's a way to reduce the stressful chaos and focus on what one can do productively to deal with the situation. अगर आपको चारों ओर से सिर्फ शोर सुनाई दे रही है और आपके मन में भी वैसे वाले शोर गूंज रहा है, तो आप आगे क्या करना है सोचना, और मतलब आपको घबराहट ज्यादा होगी और कुछ करना, कुछ पॉजिटिव करना आपको शायद ज्यादा ही मुश्किल लगेगी. So that is where positive self-talk works well. Now, to use positive self-talk properly, it is important to identify what one's existing self-talk pattern is. Does one tend to follow a negative self-talk pattern or an unrealistic positive self-talk pattern? So one thing that could help here is journaling. Sometimes even just sharing your feelings with your friends or with someone else helps you build the habit of identifying and articulating one's thought patterns. Now, ineffective positive self-talk happens when you're not in touch with reality. You know, you say that, for example, there was a famous song from when we were younger, which says, "I believe I can fly." It's a very nice song. It's fun to sing. It can be very cheering to sing.
And
But at
motivate,
the same time,
and
yes,
it can motivate oneself.
yes. But at the same time, uh, to say I can fly as an affirmative statement is foolish, because that's not realistic, right? We are not talking about flying literally. So I mean, to understand, so an affirmative statement has to be identified in such a way that it means something to you. Now, when we talk about negative self-talk patterns, that normally includes when we do one or more of the following things, which are personalizing, magnifying, catastrophizing, polarizing, or even mind reading. So now, what do each of these things mean? Personalizing is when you tend to feel accountable for situations which aren't necessarily a result of your actions alone. For example, कभी कभार मैं अपने किसी दोस्त से बात करके जब बहुत टाइम हो जाता है, मुझे बहुत गिल्टी फीलिंग हो जाती है, अरे मैंने अभी तक कॉल नहीं किया, मैंने अभी तक कॉल नहीं किया. बट एक्चुअली वो कॉल करने का या टच में रहने का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हम दोनों की है. तो वो इतना मुझे वो गिल्ट खाया जाता है कि मतलब आई फील वेरी आई पुश माई सेल्फ डाउन व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग टू दैट पर्सन, which is not, I mean, that is personalizing, where I am taking responsibility or more responsibility than actually should be mine. Magnifying is like a zoom in tool where the filter allows you to see only what is negative. For example, most adolescents, of course, all adolescents go through a stage where they are developing a body image of themselves. Now, many of them would look at their photographs, selfie खींचने के बाद फोटोग्राफ जूम इन करके आप देखोगे और आप देखोगे, अरे मैं यहाँ से, अरे मेरा बाल ठीक नहीं था, अरे मेरा नाक टेढ़ा है, मेरा स्माइल टेढ़ा है, या जो भी है, मेरा दांत दिख रहा है. So instead of looking at anything that's positive there, some of us tend to magnify whatever is negative. So that is again a negative self-talk pattern. Catastrophizing is where you expect everything to be terrible. You expect some kind of disaster to strike. For example, आजकल all parents are in touch with their children. When the moment they step out, they call them up, they find out where they are, because with technology that has happened. अब अगर and ये काफी बार as a mother I've experienced it, अगर I try to contact my children और कॉल लगती नहीं है, कुछ टाइम तक आउट ऑफ रीच आता है, तो फिर एक डर बिल्डअप होना शुरू होता है और फिर लगता है कि अरे क्या हुआ होगा, अरे एक्सीडेंट हुआ होगा, अरे ये हुआ होगा. So you expect the worst, whereas it could just be that maybe the child is in a
signal
class
problem.
Yes, it could be something as simple as that. But instead we tend to view everything or expect everything to turn into a big catastrophe. Polarizing. So in fact, it's funny that this year Merriam-Webster dictionary has chosen polarization as their word of the year. Now, polarization is something where, so when you define it, you would define it as being divided into two distinctly sharp opposites. There's nothing in between. So when we talk about polarization, it's again where you think of everything in extremes. It is either this or this. या तो सब बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे हैं, मतलब आपको कोई उसमें कोई भी गलत चीज नहीं दिखता है, which is also very unrealistic. या तो आपको हर चीज बहुत नेगेटिव लगता है. So दोनों में से कोई भी, to have a very rigid outlook, that is not good. And the fifth negative self-talk pattern is usually mind reading. This is also again something that all of us would be very familiar with. एक दोस्त एक दिन थोड़ा कम बात करेगा तो हमें लगने लगता है कि अरे वो पता नहीं मेरे से कुछ किसी वजह से नाराज है, किस वजह से पता नहीं, मैंने पता नहीं क्या किया होगा. And we start isolating ourselves. So because of all these misinterpretations, we react to assumed judgments. हम सोचते रहते हैं कि अच्छा वो इसलिए शायद ऐसे मुंह बनाया होगा, हाँ इसलिए. So we start interpreting all of this, and we interpret it as feelings which may not even exist, which fuels insecurity instead and self-doubt. And then soon you become convinced that others view you negatively, and that also impacts your social interactions and self-image. So negative, to understand what negative self-talk pattern is very important, because one needs to identify what one's self-talk pattern is. And if it is negative, you have to make an effort to reframe those negative self-talk patterns. So that's it.
So that was one elaborate, one elaborate thing that you told all of us, that what can be the pattern of a self-talk. Now, Dr. Jeena, I have a question for you. How can one build the habit of self-talk? What can be the strategies one can apply?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Building the habit of positive self-talk is especially important for students because it can improve their mental health, academic performance, and resilience in the face of challenges. Because the students often face pressures not only from exams, assignments, sometimes social situations, also peer pressure. So, developing the ability to speak to themselves in a positive and encouraging way can lead to more positive results. So, first, what we should do, first of all, we have to identify what are our current thoughts. So, first step is positive self to become aware of how you think, yeah, how you talk to yourself. Whatever we are thinking, that will be coming as our speak. So, students often engage in negative self talk during stressful situations. Yeah, if there is an exam, if there is a assignment submission, yeah, deadline. So, pay attention to what you are thinking. And for this, some tips also can be given, that as Vimala ma'am is already in her speech, they have pointed that keep a small journal, yeah, journaling, and write down our thoughts. When you feel stressed and what negative thoughts are coming, now you can write it down and understand, oh, yes, I am this much of I am negative today. And observing and writing these thoughts can help you see the negative self-talk, how and to what extent we are negative. Sometimes all these are coming as an unconscious, we don't know that we are talking to ourselves as negative. We think that we are, it is a our own part, thinking part, it's a common to think negative, but it's just not like that. That is the essence, yeah, focus of this today's discussion. So next is replace these negative thoughts with a positive, empowering statement. So once you have identified the negative thought, replace them with the positive. And positive self-talk is about reprogramming. What we have in negative, we have to make it a positive. That it's too difficult for me. It's a negative self-talk. So I can handle this. I have prepared for this. I will give my best effort. Even if I make a mistake, I can learn from it and move forward. This is what we can say positive self talk. And also, Vimala ma'am is already that it's not a miracle or not like a law of attraction and all. Because what we are thinking, what we are talking, that will become reality in future. And also we have to use affirmation to reinforce positive self-talk. So affirmations are, we have to simple statement, positive, repeat to yourself, you are good, you can do that, you can capable to that. And these motivate them to when we face some pressures. I am capable of achieving my goals, I can do my assignment very well, I can meet the deadlines. And also, the other important thing is practice self compassion during difficult times, because often we face academic or personal challenges. We make them feel like we are not good enough, we are not did well. So instead of beating your negative in yourself, practice self compassion. Talk to you in a kind, compassionate way. I didn't do well on this test. yeah, I didn't get good marks on this, I didn't do well on this assignment, but it doesn't mean that I am a failure. I can review and I can get the feedback from my teachers and I can improve the next time. This kind of practice should be there. And also there is we have to celebrate our small wins. When we practice self talk, no, we acknowledge our small events. If it is a small victory, we have done something great in our classroom, we attended, yeah, we answered some questions, that congratulate ourselves, celebrate small wins with our friends, some joy that will boost your all confidence and personality. So, in the concluding remark, I want to say that remember that your thoughts are very powerful. The way you talk to yourself can shape your success, happiness, and overall well being. Positive self talk doesn't mean ignoring the challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. Instead, it's about encouraging yourself to keep going even when the things are going in the wrong way, when the things are going tough, and recognizing your ability to grow and move forward. I encourage each of you, that is that today's motto of the discussion is, I encourage each of you to start practicing positive self-talk from today onwards. It might feel a bit awkward because even though I am facing so many troubles, I am saying I am okay, I can do it. Might feel awkward at first, but the more you do, the more natural it becomes. By changing the way you think, talk to yourself, you start to change the way you experience life. Thank you for your time, and remember, you are capable, you are worthy, and you can achieve great things. Thank you.
So, Dr. Jeena, I think you have suggested the best strategies for, for positive self-talk. And before winding up the show, I would like to go to Miss Vimala ji. So, Miss Vimala, I think this seems like the best tool, not just for the children, but for the adults as well. The last remark from you I want, and that is what kind of, what kind of how parents and teachers can build this habit of self talk in their children. How can they help their children?
So, thank you. So, I would speak here both as a parent as well as someone who has worked as a. So, for parents and teachers, I think one thing that we need to remember in almost everything that we deal with children is that we are primarily their role models. So we must remember the impact that we can have on a child's development, whether it is our own children or our own students, as role models. So first of all, practice using positive self-talk yourselves. It's a skill that we can build in ourselves first. Another very important thing is, I feel that we need to be mindful of statements that our children or our students make. Pay attention to what they're saying, listen to what, hear what they're saying, and try and understand what kind of an attitude it is reflecting. When they're making observations about the situation, when they're making predictions about what they're likely to do or what is likely to happen to them, listen to them and see if they tend to make negative statements or positive statements. If they, so just encourage them to make positive statements. But at the same time, there are more and more studies in developmental psychology that now shows that there needs to be a balance between what is positive and what is, when you're talking to a child, there needs to be a balance between praising the child and giving the child constructive criticism. There shouldn't be an excess of either. To constantly praise a child is also not healthy. The child begins to develop unrealistic self-beliefs. And to constantly find fault or criticize the child is also, of course, that is something that is a given that we all know that's not something that is healthy for the child. Also, encourage the child to use can statements rather than need to statements. Rather than saying that I need to score 80 marks or I need to score 90%, let the child say that I can score, or I can score 80%, or let the child say that I can do better. let the child also try and use the word learn wherever you're talking about something that needs to be developed, something that needs to be a skill that needs to be developed or better. So even where it is about learning, you can, as an affirmative statement, you can always say that I can learn how to learn, or I can learn from my mistakes.
Yes.
That is a very powerful affirmative statement where you are accepting the fact that you do make mistakes,
Yes,
but you're
yes,
not
yes.
looking at it in a negative manner, but instead you're saying that I can learn from that. So that is one. And of course, one more, there are certain studies which have pointed out to the fact that using you statements are better than using I statements. So rather than saying that I can, it also helps to say you can do it, you know.
Yes.
So go ahead and say, Vimla, you can do it, or whatever.
Yes.
So these are some tips, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Jeena and Mrs. Vimla ji, for your time, and this discussion. I think this discussion will really help the children out there, and the parent, and not only the children but the adults as well, the parents and the teachers who are watching us right now. And thank you so much once again for your time and for your efforts.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
So that was our talk of that was our today's Sahyog session, and I hope that you enjoyed our session. Now let me make a special announcement for all of you. The All India Children's Educational E-Content Competition is back for the year 2024-25. We invite teachers, educators, students and independent educational e-content creators to submit their best e-content for the competition. For further details and the registration form, please visit the activities section of our official website at www.ciet.ncert.gov.in or scan the QR code on the screen. The final date for submission is January 31, 2025. And now let me tell you the live schedule for tomorrow's telecast. So tomorrow at 8 a.m. we will come up for the channel 6 to 12 topic yoga for adolescents. On channel number 3, 12 to 12:30 p.m. the subject will be mathematics, topic will be what's in a one name. At 2 to 2:30 p.m. on channel number 3, Mazmoon hoga Urdu, Unwan Hamd. On channel number 3, 2:30 to 3 p.m. विषय हिंदी, शीर्षक हमारा देश भारत. On channel number 4, 3 to 3:30 p.m. subject will be EVS, topic will be from market to home. On channel number 4, 3 to 3:30 p.m. subject English, topic wake up. Channel number 6 to 12 from 4 to 5 p.m. शीर्षक भाषाओं के शिक्षण और अधिगम के लिए ऑडियो और वीडियो संसाधन. Channel number 6 to 12, 5 to 5:30 p.m. program Sahyog, topic will be development of reading culture among secondary school students. So that is all for today. You just take care of yourself. Now I am signing off. Namaskar.